future of hip-hop. Are you ready?
You ready to kick some ass?
You did it again! Turn it up. Your radio's up. Hey, yo, turn it up. You're rocking with
charlieglass.
Whatever might go down, we gonna survive that. Walls and shelter, we gonna find that. When you hear this sound, you know that I'm back. Hey, it's where I put your mind. When that disaster hit, don't you get trapped in it. You must always stay prepared with your disaster kit. In the club you might be drunken, so you may laugh at it, but when you sober up, you know it. Here's what you have to get. Stay prepared, never be fearful or even scared. These natural disasters cannot be compared. So rise and realize you will survive. In the meantime, prepare yourself with these supplies. Get coils of rope and coils of wire. In a waterproof container, put all your fire, like matches and candles, and don't wear sandals. Get some hard boots and work gloves to handle the situation, cause when disaster hits the nation, you and your family gonna need your medication. Antibiotics, aspirin, the chronic, even health foods like vitamins and garlic, pain relievers, inhalers and breathers. And make sure you got something that can take down a fever. A spray bottle of water with 10% bleach, so you can disinfect the objects you reach. And speaking of bleach, here's what I teach. Don't think that you could drink the water from the beach. You're gonna have to drink that water from your hood and purify your water to make sure it's all good. Put things in order. Put 8 drops of pure unscented liquid bleach into the water. Use only 8 drops for every 1 gallon you working. You'll need about 5 gallons a person. With no water, things could get lethal. It's dehydration, not starvation, that kills people. So look for the water first. Don't be robbing and looting and stealing and killing. Not only make things worse. Be smart, plan ahead, save some cash, a radio, some gas, and some blow-up beds. Keep your disaster kit high on the shelf with your weapons. You might have to defend yourself. Get a flashlight, chemical light sticks and whole lot, a compass, some dry food, maybe a road map. Don't forget things like peroxide and Listerine, bandages and antihistamines like Benadryl. So when things get ill, you will survive cause you really got skill. You opened your eyes after you got in your list of supplies. Check your attitude, know that you gonna survive. Whatever might go down, we gonna survive that. Food, clothes, and shelter, we gonna find that. When you hear this sound, you know that I'm back. Hey, it's where I put your mind at.
This your boy, Fresh Rue, CEO from No Days Off, Lifestyle INC, reminding you to tune in to the Underground Express Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. and every Saturday at noon for the Wake and Bake Show. And stay tuned for the new mixtape, In Your Ass Like a Wedgie, Volume 1, coming 2013. Yeah!
You're listening to charlieglass, Underground Express.
There's your boy charlieglass doing that thing Tuesday night, feeling great, baby. Got Zulu Nation on the airways with us. Talk to us about the movement, what's going on in the city, see what's going down. Remind y'all also, you know that Wu record, that Raekwon record is coming out, Lost Jury, January 15th. Make sure you cop that. I was able to get a listening session in on the YouTube today and feel what's going on. I like what I'm hearing. I'm glad it's coming back. So got a lot to talk about with these men on the line right here. We're going to open it up right now, men of the hour. How you doing, my brother?
Peace. What's good, man? How you?
Very, very good, my brother. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing.
All right, peace. Yo, this is Lord Lee Rock. I represent the almighty universal Zulu Nation, also represent the nation of God's and Earth. I'm calling to behalf of my dude at the studios, my man Johnny Torres. Told me about y'all, so I'm going to give my little insight on what I feel about how hip-hop is right now and how long I've been doing it and how long I've been with the nation.
Definitely. We appreciate that. Shout out to Johnny, always showing love. We got something coming for the people as well, publication that we're working on. So as that develops, I definitely want to jump into this and talk to you, my brother, about the things that have allowed you and afforded you to do what you do and be a part of a major movement like Zulu Nation. Explain to us and talk to us about more specifically about the state of hip-hop and how the nation plays part to this.
The state of hip-hop as far as right now, I grew up more like the old school era. I grew up from the old school era of hip-hop, where when it started back in the early days, it was more all about having fun. That's what it really was about. It wasn't really about the money. It was more all about having fun. I mean, we were so into the culture because it was something that was brand new. We set trends. Everybody had different outfits. Everybody was rocking Lees, Pumas, Adidas shell toes, sheepskins, bombers, all of that. That was the early 80s era. Then we moved from the 86 era, which was the golden age of rap, which that's when you had your Eric B, your Rakim, your Big Daddy Kane, your KRS-One. You had that movement of the positive, and then you had your positive rap, your negative rap, you had your gangster, your positive. You had all kinds of rap music that was out there. Then I would feel the early 90s was the underground movement, which was a very powerful movement. And now that we in the new millennium, in the 2000 era, it's more, I feel like it's not even hip-hop. It's not like what it used to be. It changed.
Now, talk specifically, my brother, because I want to break this down into real logistics. Where did we go wrong? Because as black men, we went through the whole, civil movement, got to the 70s, people was peaceful. 80s,
That's
the music
right.
was celebrating for everybody around. The 80s, we started looking real great. We started seeing great men like, Russell Simmons do his thing and become a
That's
part
right.
of corporate America where they thought, we could never do it. We maintained it in the 90s and it started looking good. And then we had even bigger rap cats come out of New York who I want to say, and I won't say any names, I felt that it was a slap in the face for the people because, again, we let money and impressions of what was not real with us take over. Can you talk about that?
Right. For me, in my opinion, I think what happened was the music industry, we let the music industry, as far as the people behind it, corporate America, take over the culture. I think that's what happened, was more like corporate America said, yo, you could make this much money by you making rap videos and coming out kind of looking gimmicky. Where back then everybody was themselves, everybody was original, nobody was out there trying to look. I mean, you had certain individuals that were kind of gimmicky, but they made it look fun. So where now it's more like everybody wants to be the same. Everybody wants to sound the same. And I think what it is that a lot of the record industry, when it comes down to talent, they don't look for somebody that's a real lyricist. They just look at what's going to profit the label, what's going to profit the money, and what's going to make them the money.
Definitely.
Instead of just being about the art form of rap music. And I'm not just going to even say rap music because it's all music now these days. I mean,
definitely, I agree with you.
R&B is not really R&B no more. It's not really soulful like it used to. And, I mean, you do have a lot of underground that nobody really checks into. Everybody wants to check into the commercial stuff, which I'm not going to say everybody, because there's a lot of people out there that still dig the underground and they always look for the underground. But I think that corporate America don't acknowledge underground.
I agree.
More on what's going to be gimmicky.
We're in a capitalist society. A lot of our people don't understand the difference in that, we put in $600 billion into this economy a year. We put into making things known for the average urbanite, and we still don't get anything back. Now, I want to go back to original point of that you made about the labels and really, in my eyes, in a raw way of saying it, a pimp and hoe game. Now you have big independent movements like Rockefeller, like Good Music, like Cash Money, who go and get a cosign from Interscope. I was just reading something where Vado from the Dipset crew is no longer on Interscope on the strength that Interscope doesn't do anything for these artists. Now, the funny thing about that is Interscope and Jimmy Iovine, everybody knows what Jimmy does. Now, through Blinders again, I'm thinking they had the whole machine behind this man because Dipset and 50 and Eminem and Dre and everybody has made him $1 gazillion. But this goes to show again that these machines really don't care about that. And he mentioned about doing positive things with his music and that they wasn't feeling that. They wanted to keep him, you know, reckless and hopeless and keep the youth that way. Talk to me about, are there any true hip-hop artists out there in the biz? Anybody? And again, I know the underground is having a resurge. I'm happy about that. It's the reason why we started the platform and doing what we do. But speak to me about that. Is there anything out there that's hanging on? You know, talk to me.
There's a lot of brothers out there that are still keeping that original formula that you don't really hear that much unless you're on the underground circuit. Which one of the most powerful brothers that I've seen on stage, and he to this day he's still doing his thing, but you don't really hear from him so much, is Immortal Technique. That brother is a very powerful MC. If you ever listen to this brother, the way he rhymes, commercial radio would be scared to play this brother out because the messages this brother brings out to the youth and to everyone is incredible. I mean, you also got a lot of the old school heads that still, the 90 heads that were doing their thing in the 90s, they still doing their thing, but they just keep it on the underground level. They don't do the whole commercial thing. See, the problem is that the scene right now in New York is not really New York hip-hop. It's more like the down south movement.
Yes.
That's what you listen to. If you go to New York, that's all you listen. Radio stations don't really play New York rap acts no more. They don't support that much New York rap acts. It's like,
now, what do you owe to that? What do you think that is? Because we got Jay. You know, Nas had the #1 album on Billboard this year. Big ups to Nas. I love what he do. This should have been, you know, I should have seen Nas all summer long, all, you know, over everything, but I understand the politics that this music thing plays.
Yeah, that's for me,
you know,
that's,
I can't champion that, but why do we subject ourselves to have given up on something that was really constructed out there in the NYC? Why are we folding, especially, again, to where we have very strong, wealthy, independent music executives like your Jay-Z who can make changes on all that? Is he afraid of losing everything? What is it?
I don't think he's afraid. I think it's just the people that he's behind. You know, like I said, the record industry, it's like I said, corporate America plays a big part of that. A lot of the people that are behind the door that you really don't really hear much about, I think they're the ones that play a big role. They decide what's going to be hot. Certain radio stations in New York, from my understanding, I mean, back in the days, the DJs were the ones that had the power.
Exactly.
They would break records. They would break artists. And commercial radio, there's 2 commercial radio stations in New York that, if you notice, they don't break records anymore. You know, everything is either from the South or, and I'm not just going to say New York because California is dealing with the same thing, where if you go to California, it's like you down south, or if you're in New York, it's like you down south, which I got nothing against down south music because I listen to all of that because I'm a hip-hop fan from day one. But and I'm going also by what Africa Bambaataa has said. Why isn't there no balance in the music industry? Why is it that when radio stations play, you know, a whole 5-minute segment of down south, how come they don't play something positive, maybe something that's like from the 80s, a Public Enemy record or something like that? And I think that's dealing with corporate America, and it's also dealing with payola, and it's also dealing with the music, the director of the radio station that don't want to play that. They want to play all the new stuff, and that's why a lot of the young youth really don't know what real hip-hop is, nor do know what real rap is.
Now, on that, we talked about a lot of the effects of what things like corporate America has caused to the movement. How do we effectively, as a unit, as an urbanite, how do we move from one place to the next without, because, as a people, we always feel jaded and isolated, like we're not getting enough of something. But again, if you look at it and you look at the analytics and you look at the numbers, we put in a lot on this land here. And the music is one place where we find in common that we can find that common ground because those stories are about us, or the stories are about our niece or our nephew, our grandparents, our uncles, our aunts. How do we move? What are you guys doing? Because I know you do a lot in and out of the state. What are you doing to sort of bring this realism back to the streets and have these people maintain the credibility of what true hip-hop really is?
First, you got to teach the younger youth and teach them what the culture is about, because a lot of times, a lot of the young youth, and like I said, I'm not going to also knock, because there's a lot of young youth out there that do know what hip-hop is, but I was talking to legendary Chuck Chillout a while back, and I told him that it's a shame that in the United States, an average, like a young kid that's like maybe 14, 15, 16, don't know who the founding fathers of this culture is. But if you go overseas, if you go to Japan, China, an average 14, 15-year-old will sit down there and school you about all the old school heads.
Definitely.
Because out there, they worship hip-hop like a religion, where in the United States, they use it as a business. Which ain't nothing wrong with making money. We all like to make money. Everybody likes to make money. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. We all got to live off money. But I feel like the way corporate America is pimping hip-hop and a lot of these rap artists, it's not, we got to teach our young youth that that's not realistic. Grab a book, gain some knowledge yourself, and gain some knowledge. That way you know how to grow up positive instead of watching certain rap artists and BET and rap videos wearing the gold chain and talking about they sipping on scissor and all of that stuff. That's party and all of that. But when it comes down to positivity, you don't see that anymore in rap no more. And I think it's like I said, corporate America and the people behind it don't want the young youth to get the real information.
Definitely agree with you, my brother.
And I feel, I'm not knocking a lot. I mean, you got a lot of positive brothers, too, that give back to the community that you don't really hear about. Everybody want to knock Russell Simmons. He's all paid, this, that, and the third. He does a lot, and he gives back to the community. There's a lot of rappers out there that do positive things. You don't really hear about that because the media don't want to put that out there, but yet they want to put out the whole party and drinking and all of that. And like I said, most radio stations, that's another thing, that radio stations, commercial radio stations, they're the ones that are controlling the youth. The DJs, back then the DJs were the ones that took control of their shows. It's like now they got younger people telling the old school DJs what music to play. And that's not how it used to be, and that's why I feel like the way the music industry is now, it's not the way it used to be. And it's, to me, I think little by little, it might go back to the old school era, but I don't really see it happening no time soon. Because every year there's something new. And I understand you got to get with the times because we in the future. We can't kind of, go deal with back in the days, because that's, all the rap artists, everybody's old. So, them brothers got to take it to the next level and pass that torch to the younger generation. But it's like a lot of the younger generation don't really acknowledge what real hip-hop or what real rap music is.
And where it came from. We got a couple more minutes, so let the people know if there's any upcoming event that you guys will be speaking at, performing at, whichever, and also if you have a hashtag where they can see you and talk to you maybe on the Twitter, get to know what's going down, get some education, because as you said, a lot of the youth, you know, I was young too back in the day, but there's one thing that I did was always respect my elders and always listen and understood where something came from. Because for one person to take something down after 30 years of having built that makes no sense to me.
30 years, it's more like 39 going on 40 years. Hip-hop is 39 years old.
Definitely.
And Zulu Nation is 40 years old. And I feel like a lot of younger generations, they need to learn, they need to know who, you know, brothers like Kool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, and these brothers, what they did, because they started this whole culture, and if it wasn't for them brothers and sisters, because there were sisters in the rap game as well that don't never get acknowledged, there would be no rap music, period.
Definitely, my brother. Yo, I appreciate you, Lord Lee Rock. My brother, I appreciate this time. You have no idea. I'm hoping to get a couple more of you on the air. We'll get the whole half-an-hour show going on, but want to play some music, you know, to salute the movement that New York has always been on. Go ahead, give your shout-outs, and again, I appreciate you, my brother. Much love.
First and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to you, brother, for doing something positive and putting out that real good underground music out there and letting people know what time it is. Of course, my man Johnny Torres, I've known this brother for many years. Shout out to the whole old school, you know, and everybody that's doing something that's positive and productive, and all the new MCs, all the DJs, you know, the whole entire Almighty Universe, Zulu Nation, my whole team, the Wolfpack Estapos, just we doing our thing, you know, and Rocksteady Crew, I know they're having their anniversary this year. I'm not sure where, but it should be somewhere July 27th. And next year would be the 40th anniversary of the Zulu Nation. So look that up on the internet, which is www.universalzulunation.com. My Twitter page, Lord Lee Rock 1. And for anybody that want to holler, just holler at me.
All right, my brother.
Thank you very much for having me on your show, my brother.
Definitely. Much love. Y'all heard it right there from the man himself, Supreme Lord Lee Rock right there, Zulu Nation, New York, doing that thing. Shout out to Johnny in studios. Love you, baby. Thank you for that one.
Smoke something. You fucking haters. You're rocking with
Charlie Glass.